Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Jacqueline Jack Perez, and I'm here with Tracy Gold. And I know you're wondering, well, why is Jack Perez talking? Like, what's that talking head? We usually see Tracy, and you do see Tracy, right? But we're trying something a little different today. I run a platform dedicated to normalizing aging for women in midlife and beyond. And so I'm very, very keen to find solutions for us as we go through perimenopause and menopause. And ladies, I have access to thousands of women and I hear your complaints. And so many of us, when we get into that perimenopause, menopause state, and our hormones are all wonky and we start getting that midlife but that bulge in the middle because our hormones are all wacky and we go to the closet and we're like, what the truck, there's nothing in there. And I don't know if there's a woman alive. I mean, I've had that experience so many times. And so what do we do, right? When I'm a normal human, I just, if I see pictures, I can put stuff together, my Garanimals kind of stuff. But I really think that some of us might need some major help at this point. And should we get it? I mean, should we bother to write a check to get a designer, a fashion designer to like come in and help us? I'm thinking, let's talk to Tracy Gold today and let's put her through, let's find out. Let's find out. I'm going to ask her some tough questions and we're going to see what she says. So, Tracy, thank you for letting me invade your space today.
I
And
love it. I love it. It's so much of a fun invasion, Jack.
well, are you ready? Because I'm going to ask you some tough questions. So let's talk about
I'm ready.
let's
Bring it
talk
on,
about
girl. Let's
let's talk
let's have
about
the
that
tough
whole
conversation.
let's talk about that whole menopause, perimenopause stuff. Now, you
Yes.
yourself have recently felt the pangs. So tell us a little bit about why all of a sudden you're realizing that there's a real need for this.
Yeah, so Jack, I've been working with women over 40 for most of my styling career, and I've been working in the space for over 20 years. And I've heard women talk about it, but I never really understood to the extent that I have until I turned 50. So I turned 50 last year, and perimenopause hit me pretty hard at the beginning of this year. I was not expecting it. I live a very healthy lifestyle. I eat really well, I exercise, I do all that stuff. So I thought it'll be fine. I'll be okay. Oh my hat, it was not okay. It was not okay. I mean, I woke up and I felt like my stomach looked like I was 4 months pregnant. And then on top of that, Jack, I had to go on national television with like 7 cameras on me.
Oh, in a bathing suit. I saw this
Oh
woman in a
no,
bathing
no, that
suit.
was before. No, that was before perimenopause. So that was like with LeBlanca, that was fine. But
Right.
this was recently, and I was working with handbags, and so like Jack, I'm just gonna stand. Like when you're doing the handbag, the cameras are right on here. It's
Right.
like, oh, here's the bag. Let me try and hide my belly underneath it. It
Right.
was it was horrible. And then also I had to wear solid color clothing. And it was the funniest thing, Jack, because I remember when the woman who was the founder of the brand said, "Oh, well, we need you to wear solid colors because we don't want you to clash with any of the prints." And I looked at my closet and I was like, I don't own any solid colors. Like nothing, nothing, zip, nada, right? And you're not allowed to wear black. So that wasn't an option either. So I had to go out and find clothes that were not going to cling and not going to make my stomach look bigger or not show. And one day to the next was completely different. It was like one day I'd feel, wow, this is great. And I'd pack my stuff because it's out in Pennsylvania. I'd have to go, travel to get there. And then I would get there and have something light to eat, and suddenly my stomach would just be like, and I was like, oh no, now I have to go on. So I really experienced what it's like to have that roller coaster and that not knowing each time and what's going to happen. And so for me, it was a big wake up call. And it was like, okay, wait a minute. So I've been designing and I've been styling women over 40 for a long time, but it really made me empathize and understand how important it is that we have clothes in our closet that support the life and the body that we have now.
Well, I mean, your story is so common, Tracy, right?
Yes.
Because the reason I started Cool Life was because menopause hit me like a tractor trailer. And
Mm,
I wasn't a fashion designer, so I didn't go the clothing route. I went the information route because that's where I came from. I came from a world of technology and marketing. So I came from, let's provide information. But
yes.
but I couldn't provide the information without women like you who are in the mix of it with the real women, rolling up your sleeves, dealing with real women who are handling this midlife transition and unhappy about it. Can you give us an example
Mm.
of someone who has come to you and maybe they're like, I don't know what to do, Tracy. I can't fit in any of my clothes. I'm really unhappy with what's in my closet, but I don't know how to pare things down. I don't know how to put things together. What do you have an example of someone that you've helped like that?
Yeah, like tons. I mean, in 20 years, I mean, that's the thing. So what happens often, and this is what happens for women, Jack, is that for some women who are, let's say they are like they're really good in finance or they're really good in technology and their talents are elsewhere and not necessarily in putting outfits together. Suddenly as we get a little bit older, the things that we maybe used to get away with and that would kind of pass and work okay don't work anymore. And so she doesn't know what to do about this, you know?
Can you give us an example of a styling challenge that you've come across in particular for women in midlife? Just a particular styling challenge that you think might be a commonplace challenge that many of us have.
Okay. So often what I find is that women come to me in a time of transition. So they've either lost a lot of weight or they've gained a lot of weight and now they just don't know how to dress. I've had a lot, and I mean, this is like a very typical thing. And they'll say to me, I'm losing weight, so I don't want to buy too many clothes, but I want to feel good in what I'm wearing now. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's all right, right? But what I find is that if they will dress the body that they have now, they automatically start feeling better about themselves. And Jack, you know what's interesting is that they start losing the weight.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because you can visually see the benefit of the effort that you're putting in. And if you stay in the clothes, I get why some women would be like, oh, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm in transition. I haven't gotten to my goal weight. But you're right. Even just a few pieces that maybe can be versatile. I mean, because I know in your collection, a lot of the pieces in your collection are really versatile. I mean,
Yes.
they can accommodate sort of the fluctuation. And so maybe that's just find a couple of pieces that can do that in that transition time, but that will also then spur you to continue on your path because then you see that it's actually working. I can't
Yes.
imagine like if you're still in your old frumpy clothes, that has to be really disheartening and can be really demoralizing, right? And
Yes, and
yeah,
think about it also if you're gonna go shopping, just imagine, Jack, you're standing in front of your closet. You need to go to an important meeting, or you wanna go to a special event or something like that, and your favorite go-to dress doesn't fit you anymore. What is the internal dialogue? The
oh,
internal dialogue is, "I'm too fat for that now."
right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I'm too old for that, or I'm too. So my thing is like with my own collection, and I don't just exclusively work with my own collection because, sometimes you're gonna like different things or your personal style is different or whatever the case is. But I have designed pieces specifically that are going to adapt to your body. So, for example, that one of my clients, she had a baby quite late in life, and had to go through the whole IVF thing, which that also within itself is a massive thing, right? Like it's an onslaught on the body from a hormonal perspective.
Right.
And then, yeah,
That can really mess with your weight, I think. I mean, I've
completely.
heard, I'm not that familiar with it, but yeah, I can only imagine if you're pumping in a bunch of hormones to get yourself in a place that you can get pregnant, that's going to make you gain weight. Yeah.
Yes, and how long it takes for those hormones to then exit your body, right? So she had put on quite a bit of weight. She'd had her baby. She was still breastfeeding. And so she said, okay, Trace, I'm just gonna, she dipped her toe in. She was like, okay, I'll get this dress. And then she was like, oh my goodness, it looks amazing. It
Yeah.
makes me feel amazing. And then she got another piece, and then she got another, so she just got a few. It wasn't like she was, she was kind of clearing out her entire closet and replacing her entire closet. And do you know, Jack, that within a few months she had actually gone down one of my whole sizes, which is a lot because I do like small, medium, large, extra large. And she was like, okay, Tracy, I actually need to downsize. But the cool thing is, Jack, those clothes still fit her because they were adjusted. But you see, and she said, I'm not stress eating like I used to, because she was feeling better about herself. Now, she did start working out. She wasn't stress eating. So it's not a case of like, oh, wear Tracy's clothes and then sit on the couch and eat more potato chips and it's going to work, right? It wasn't that she was saying, but she
Yeah.
was feeling better about herself. So it was easier for her to make the choices of, okay, so let me kind of go for the healthier choice when I'm having lunch, or let me have one piece of cake versus three, because I'm stress eating, because I'm not feeling good about myself.
Right.
And so I think that is, and I hear that time and time and time again, Jack. And it isn't necessarily about replacing everything in your closet, but
Right.
it is about having a few things that are your go-to. So whether you wake up and you're feeling bloated the one day and the next day you feel fine, it doesn't matter. You're going to look good and you can get on with the rest of your day.
Okay, so I have to ask a question, because I
Yes.
bet there's a lot of women either watching this now or watching it on the replay that are going to be like, okay, but I don't live in New York City.
Yes.
I can't go to your house, Tracy Gold, or your office or your studio and sit with you and, you show me magazines and, whatever, take my measurements or whatever that idea is of what a quote makeover or a stylist would do.
Yes.
I mean, this would have to, in many cases, you do this virtually, so you're not on site.
That is correct. Yes.
Can you walk us through sort of what that looks like? Like, for
Sure.
let's say that I signed up for that. Let's say I said, okay, Tracy, I want to get a makeover from you.
Yes.
What would you do? What's the next steps? What can I expect?
Okay. So first of all, I would ask you to send me some photographs. And these are not photographs that I would share with everyone. Like, this is just
Already,
personal.
I'm like, what kind of photographs?
What kind of thing? I know. So all it is I just need some recent pictures. And I mean recent, Jack. And we have to be kind of honest with where we are, because that's what it is, right? So if you have, if you've got pictures from 6 months ago and you are still the weight and the shape of that, that's absolutely fine. And selfies are completely acceptable.
Okay.
So, you can literally just go into the mirror. I mean, you can get your partner, your husband, your daughter, or whatever to take the pictures for you if you prefer. But
the cat, if your cat is talented.
Correct, right? Like Jazzy, my cat, probably would figure it out, but he would have to be in the shot at the same time, and it would be confusing. So he has to always be in my shots. But so selfies are
the cat
selfies.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so you require photos. You require recent photos, but they're private. They're
completely private. They're only for my site, and it's just to give me a feel of who you are and where you are at right now. Then we would set up.
That's important, I think, because I would imagine that if I'm coming to you because I need help, that maybe I'm not feeling particularly good about how I look, and I would prefer my photos to be just between you and me so that you can help me. But yeah, that's good to know that you're going to keep that confidential.
Exactly. So if you need to create them password, and make them password friendly, and you give me the password, and you change the password up, like however it feels right for you. But hopefully, if you're going to trust me enough to show me your body shape and try clothes on for me, then hopefully you'll trust me with your photographs, right? Like, I'm not going to keep them. I would look at them and delete them, or however you want to give me access to them. And then, Jack, we would set up 3 sessions. Okay. So the first session there would be 2 1-hour sessions and 1 half-an-hour session. And this is very important, because what I have found, and I used to do a lot of like day makeovers where it would all happen in one day, it's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to learn. If you've been dressing a certain way your whole life, to suddenly be dressing in a different way sometimes takes a little bit extra time to integrate those skills. So we would set up our first 1 hour session. And this is where I just want to get to know you, because this is not, this is not AI generated, because that's one of the things I found like online when I went and looked at what people are doing. A lot of it's AI generated. A lot of it is, oh, fill in this form and then we'll put you with a stylist that you don't even know who it is. I'm like, that for me, even as a stylist, would feel really edgy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and even if you feel like you need to rather send me the photographs after our first 1 hour session, that's also fine. If it's more of a trust factor, I'm willing, I don't mind. It's about you, it's not about me, right?
Right, right, right.
So in the hour session, I really want to get to know who you are and what you want to represent to the world. So what is your dream look? If you were to imagine, if you were to open your closet, and because I'm just closing my eyes, and you just see the most amazing clothes in there that just fit you, that represent who you are, that make you feel kick-ass amazing,
Right.
what would that look like? Let's go into your dream world, and forget about the, oh, but I can't wear it because I gained weight, or oh, I can't wear it because I don't wear the color green, or whatever the case is. Like, let's just dream a little, and this gives me an idea of who you are and what you want to represent in the world, and then I help you to create a look like that. So we'll discuss it, and then I'll get you to try. I'll get you to prepare. So you'll have a few things that you normally wear in your closet. And if you prefer to put them on for me online as opposed to sending me photographs, that's also okay. And you can try these things on, go off to the side. I'm not expecting you to get naked with me. Go off to the side, stand back.
That was just me the last time we did an IG live that you
Yeah, exactly. Not everybody's gonna love this, right? So that's what you can do. And then we discuss, like, okay, so where are you now?
right.
And where do you want to go? And what do you need to get you there?
I'm assuming you also take into consideration whether they have a career, what type of career, where they
Exactly.
live, how pressing their social calendar is
Exactly.
versus, are they picking up the grandkids and making, pumpkin cookies with them, or are they going to, a gala, at the art museum, or maybe both. I mean, there are women who have the life where they might be making cookies with their granddaughter and then going to a black tie event in the evening. So
Yes.
assuming you kind of address all of that. You take all of that
Yes.
into consideration.
And that is so important. Thank you for asking for bringing that up, Jack, because this is the thing. In the fashion world, it's like, oh, everybody needs an LBD. Everybody needs a little, like a white button down.
Okay, hold on
I don't,
though. Hold
I
on.
don't have,
Miss Stylist. LBD is
yeah,
little
little black dress.
dress.
Little
I mean, I'm
black dress.
sure most women know that, but just in case.
Okay. I do not have those things in my closet. I
Okay.
mean, my little black dress is leather.
Of course it is.
I don't even own a white button down. I don't actually own a button down. You know what so the thing is, it's about, who are you? What is your lifestyle? How do you want to create that it's going to really work for you? And that it's going to transition. A lot of us are working hybrid. A lot of us are going from, hey, this is all I need to look good in, and I can have like socks and my cozy stuff on underneath, right? It doesn't matter. But often what happens is that you're going from a meeting that you're having on Zoom to then picking up your kids at school, to then taking them to somewhere else, to then maybe going date night with your husband.
Right.
So how do we create a concise wardrobe that allows you to mix and match and dress up and dress down and meet all of those needs without having to spend hours getting dressed in the morning?
Okay, but if you are the button-down girl and you
Yes.
are the LBD girl, because I love myself a good white button-down, crisp with like cufflinks, and I
Lovely.
probably have 20 LBDs. So if you ever need one, I can send you one.
Thank you. So kind of you.
Borrow one. So I guess what I'm asking though, it's like the way you do this, it's like you would be working around the fact that I do like that look. And so you would be
Exactly.
enhancing that. You wouldn't right? You go with whatever that woman sort of feels comfortable in, right? And then go from there.
That's exactly it, Jack. And that's why I don't work exclusively with my own collection. My collection is there. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine. And
Right.
then I also teach you how to shop online.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. So there are, because listen, I mean, pre-COVID, many of us women over 40 were not buying clothes online. Nowadays, I don't know, Jack, when last you went into a store, but even here in New York City, the stores are not pleasant, first of
Right.
all, and we don't love the changing rooms. Let's be honest. The mirrors are really something else. The lighting is a whole different ball
The
game.
lighting. What
You
is
know,
it with the lighting?
I don't understand.
Nobody
And
looks
then
good in those lights. Why?
correct, I
Whoever
don't
designed those.
know.
Yeah.
The overlighting, it's terrible. And then, Jack, there's not much available and there's hardly service. So what I do is I teach you how to shop in a way that saves you time and saves you money.
Okay.
And that is very important. Now, if you are, if you love thrifting and you want to go to thrift stores, I'll teach you how to best shop in thrift stores. If you are more like, oh, just have it delivered to my house, I don't want to have to go into fitting rooms, that's
Right.
fine. If it depends on your shopping style, and no shopping style is incorrect. It's just what you tend to do, and then I will make recommendations. Also, a lot of women feel very overwhelmed, whether it's, in fact, I find sometimes the overwhelm shopping online is even worse than it is in stores
That
because there is so much available, and how do we know things are going to fit, and how do we work it? So what I will do is understand your natural shopping tendencies and then help you with some skills and kind of some neuroscience stuff as well. Like
okay. Okay.
how to cut the rest out that you're not interested in, that isn't going to work for you, and reduce the overwhelm.
Okay. Now,
Plus the budget, to keep your budget. And I also work with budget. I mean, I've taken women shopping to thrift stores. Do you know what I mean? Like,
can
I
you
love
can
thrift
you give us
stores.
just one thrift store tip? Just one thrift store tip? Like when you go to a
Yes.
thrift store, what's like one must do versus one must don't do kind of thing?
Okay, well, this is kind of a tip across the board if you're
Yeah.
going into a
Yeah, yeah,
store.
yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
regardless of whether, well, there's actually two. So, regardless whether you are going into a store, whether you're going into a thrift store, the thing to bear in mind is that when you are clear on what you're looking for, it cuts out a lot of the rest. So, as an example, when I take women shopping, if I am looking for some skirts that are going to fit and flare, and that's what I'm looking for. So, what I tend to do is go straight to the skirts. And then I look at what is there. I'm not spending hours looking at all the tops and all the jackets, and look for one thing at a time.
Okay.
That makes a big difference too. Because if I'm like, oh, I'm looking for a jacket and I'm looking for a skirt and I'm looking for a top and I'm looking, then it's all over the place. Even if it means you go from the front of the store to the end of the store and then go back again from the front of the store and the end of the store. Because what happens in your brain is that it's looking for what is relevant.
Okay.
So if you're focused, it's going to show you you're going to notice what's more relevant.
Okay.
That's an important thing. The other tip, and this is the tip that goes kind of across the board with both stores and thrift stores, but especially with thrift stores, don't get caught up on the size tag. Okay?
Yeah. I learned that
Because
from you a long time ago, by the way. Yeah.
I know, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one for a lot of women, especially when you go into a thrift store, because sometimes there aren't even size tags on things you don't know, and it's kind of nice in that way.
Yeah.
It's actually just look at it and go, do I think this is going to fit me?
Right.
And
Right.
if you think it may fit you, try it on. If not, put it away and don't think twice about it. And I think it's kind of the same with stores in a way. What is beneficial about stores, regular stores versus thrift stores, is that if you go into a regular store, you can take three sizes. And
Right.
I actually recommend that because every size, every shape, every product is different. I actually did a live one time, Jack, I went jeans shopping on a day that I was extremely bloated.
Oh,
What was I thinking?
yeah.
I had one of those first ever like migraines and migraines, you call it migraines. And my friend said to me, drink down a Coke and eat chips. So like I never drink Coke. I do eat chips, but like really salty. She was like, really get it in. So I
So
was like,
salt and sugar.
okay.
Salt and
I,
sugar. Okay.
well, let me tell you, my stomach just went like super bloated. And then I was like, oh yay, let's go shopping for jeans. Like what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's important is I think, all right, I'm kind of around this size. So I go into a store and they don't, I won't mention the name, but they had, kind of odds and sods. So like, maybe one of this size and one of that size and then three of this size, but not really. It was kind of all over the place. And so then I went and I was just getting quite depressed because the one pair of jeans that I wanted was only in the one size. And I was like, well, maybe if I lose weight, it'll fit me. Do
Yeah.
not do that to yourself, girlfriend. Do
No,
not do that to yourself.
it doesn't fit
And
in
then
the store. Do not take it home.
I
Just
tell
don't
you,
do it. Don't
well,
do it.
sometimes with jeans, Jack, like they'll be really fitted in the beginning, and then you wear them a little bit and they will ease like a lot depending on how much stretch there is.
Right,
So
right.
what I did is I used that information and I ordered online different sizes. So I actually went up a size. It arrived, Jack, it was a smaller size. It had the label that was the bigger size, but let me tell you, I put the two next to each other and it was at least one size smaller, if not more.
So there's a good reason why
So,
you should not bother to worry about what
correct.
number that the little tag says on the inside of our clothes
Exactly.
that no one can see.
And
Not
cut it
even
out if you
you
don't
on
like it.
your body.
Exactly. So
Right.
so this is the thing is that we give a lot of weight to a little size numeral, whereas the fits are completely different. And I was listening to a woman, she used to work in a jeans factory, and she says they've got all these layers of fabric, and when they cut the cutting machine, sometimes things slide, and
Right.
sometimes the one at the bottom then gets less of the fabric than the top one. So like we have to kind of deal with our emotional stuff, and that is even shopping online. And I mean, I did it live and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and put these jeans on. And I could not even zip them. And they were supposed to be a size up,
Right.
not a size or two down.
Okay.
So those are my tips.
Back to talking about what it's like to work with a stylist and in particular you. So we talked
Yes.
about how yeah, I would send you photos. We would send you photos, and then we have that first meeting that's an hour that you're going to get to know my lifestyle. You're going to get to know my personality, probably like how risky I am about clothing,
Yes.
not risky. And so then what happens after that?
Okay. Then I give you homework.
Oh,
So then
okay.
I give you homework.
Okay.
Okay. So based on what we discuss, and this is going to be completely individual to you,
Okay.
right? There's no like prototype. I don't work in any like formatted way. I
Okay.
don't believe in that. I work with an individual. So I will give you homework. And it'll probably be something, it could be things like, okay, so go through your closet and see what are the things that you're wearing, what things you aren't wearing, separate those. Let's look at the ones you are. It may also be, okay, go into a store, because if she has no idea what her style is, it may be, okay, do a little like store thing. Go
Okay,
into a
just understand.
store.
Go out and look at
Yes.
these items and
Touch fabrics.
take pictures or yeah. Okay.
Yes. What colors are you liking? What styles are you liking? What are you drawn to? Act like a little girl who's just gone into a candy store. Like, what are the things that attract you? However it is for you that it works. So I will give you some homework, and then we will regroup for the next session to then decide what the next step forward may be. It may be for you, you're really clear on what it's clear what you need. And so then I'll say, okay, so these are the tips. I'm going to send you some recommendations of some products that I think would work for you. Maybe order them. And then the second session would be really a virtual try on.
Okay.
So we're now going to try these things on.
You literally send links of outfits or products or that a woman could actually purchase,
Yes.
bring home into her home, and then in their follow-up session with you, you guys work together whether or not like does it fit well, does it not fit well, like
Correct.
is this the direction that we think you wanted to go in, maybe not. And so that's sort of when you tweak the direction.
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And what's working for your body shape, what feels good to you, how do you feel in these clothes? And then are you going to be able to get mix and match? And so then what we'll do from there is create a concise wardrobe for you. Okay, so Jack, this is going to mix with the, you can wear this with this and this and that. You're
Okay.
going to wear that with this and this and that. And then you go out for the, date night and you dress it up with this. And then it may also be a list of, like, let's say for argument's sake, you don't have a huge budget to spend straight away. That's okay. We make a priority list. What are the things in your closet that you can already use and we can add to? What is the shopping list that you need? And then there can be like, these are the kinds of things that you're looking for. So next month, when you have a bit more budget, go and get these things or go and find something similar. And again, it's teaching you how to do it for yourself. It's not, this is the thing as well. I think in the past, I've never worked this way, but from what I know from quite a few stylists, is that they would work with women on an ongoing basis. Oh, I have an event, I need something to wear. Oh, I have this thing, I need that to wear. Whatever the case is, I don't work that way. For me, it's about giving you the skills so that you learn how to do it and you can do it for yourself.
You're teaching us how to fish rather than just
Correct.
giving us a piece of salmon.
Yes.
And I think that's great because actually that's a great lead into kind of the next question. It's like, okay, so I was going to ask, like, why would someone pay for this? Like, why would you pay to sit, and have Tracy Gold talk to you about your clothes?
Yes.
But you already you're already alluding to it. It's because you're developing a skill set as well. But
Yes.
but go ahead, tell us why would someone want to pay for this?
Okay, so I love that question. So if you are the kind of woman who has a very clear idea what your style is, who actually loves getting dressed because it's an extension of who you are, it's an easy expression, you love shopping, you know what you want, then you don't need me.
Right.
Like, save your money and buy clothes that you love. Like,
Right.
you know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you don't need me. So
Right.
my services are really for those women who don't know and are maybe spending a lot of money on clothes and it's just not working.
Yeah, I
So,
personally just donated probably about 20 items that I
mm,
bought, still have the tags on them, but I bought them with no purpose in mind.
yes,
And at a time where I was in transition and so I had to donate them. And that's a
yes,
lot of wasted money that I could have used in a different way.
yes,
Had I known what to buy, I wouldn't have spent my money on that.
yes. Yes, that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
And we're not just looking at your wardrobe now today, Jack. We're looking at it going forward. We're looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, so how are you going to develop the sense of style, and then how are you going to grow that? Like,
Okay.
how are you going to shop in the future? And exactly what you say, it's developing a skill.
Right.
And so for those who really struggle with this, and also just, sometimes the things that used to work for you before don't work anymore.
Right.
And you
Oh
have
boy,
to,
is that true. And then you find new things that work, and guess what? Live long enough and those stop working too.
correct.
We are a work in process. We are
We
we
are.
are evergreen. We're not one and done. And so, yeah, but it sounds like the skills that you teach are women could take that as they transition in the
Yes,
future.
that is correct.
Okay,
That is
so
exactly it.
I've got to
Mm,
talk about this
okay.
because we were talking before we went live, and you are offering a competition so
Yes.
someone can actually get this
Yes.
experience and not have to pay for it. But however, that individual will have to be okay with it being public, right? Because it's a public
Yes.
competition. But you
Yes.
don't have, if you still want the designer experience, you don't have to do the competition.
No.
You can just directly contact Tracy and get her services and skip that whole thing. But I don't know if you kind of want the excitement of joining a competition, which I know a lot of people, that's just fun. Um, Stacey, can you tell us what the competition is that
Okay.
what
So
what's up on the screen to be had?
Okay, so let me actually just put this little code there. So
Okay,
that will help you go directly if you do want to enter. So what it includes is it is the online style makeover process, which is again, it's 2 1-hour sessions plus a half an hour after. So it's a recap and reconnect kind of session is your 30 minutes, your final 30 minutes. And so, and then it has on top of it, it has $350 worth of clothing from my collection. So, and that will be of your choice. So it's not like,
wow,
oh, here's
okay.
the dress that I think you should have. Here it is.
Right,
It's
right, right.
really of your choice. And the wonderful thing about the collection is it's customized for you specifically. So it's not just something that's off the rack. It's actually quite special. So if you the as you say though, Jack, the caveat is that your photographs will be shared and
Yeah,
you will then be interviewed on my platforms to talk about your experience. So if you're totally cool with that and you're like, woohoo, let's bring it on. I want my makeover to be seen, then the competition's for you.
yeah,
And it's worth $750. However, if you're more private and like, oh, don't want to do any of that, then feel free to reach out and book your session.
right. Because you don't get the extra $350 of shopping
Correct.
spree, but you get
Correct.
everything else. And
Yes,
so
correct.
you can still have the full experience, get the education, learn the skills, and get through the transition period and not have to join the competition. But honestly, why wouldn't you join the competition? I guess if
Exactly.
you're really, really private and shy,
Yes.
but if you're really private and shy, you're probably not watching this right now.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, I'm
So
teasing. I'm so
I
teasing.
think, yeah, it just is dependent on you. And so, and that's the fun thing, right? Is that if you are in a space where you're like, yes, this is what I want, this is what I'm struggling. And I would just say, imagine, and this is really the goal, is imagine that you open up your closet and you have clothes that you love to wear that will fit you, that you'll enjoy wearing, and you'll feel fabulous in. And you won't have to, you can get dressed in 5 minutes in the morning and not have to think about it. So if that appeals to you, then yes, it is a skill you can learn. And I mean, I think it's worth every penny.
Can you share a success story? I mean, I know you've done these before. You've had these competitions, you've done a
Yes.
lot of styling. Can you walk us through just, a success story? I'd love to hear like how you changed the life of any I mean, I'm sure you have tons of stories.
Yes, I'm trying to think of one to
But
tell.
is there one that sticks out that like you really feel like, wow, that makes me feel good that I helped her so much, because
Yeah.
I get cards in the mail sometimes from some of our community about, you know, how they don't feel as alone or lost, and it's always a good feel. Is there anything
Mm.
that pops up that a woman is something like, "Oh my God, thank you, Tracy."
Yeah,
Um,
so I would actually, and she hasn't. It's not a perimenopausal menopause. She's in her 30s, but she's the woman that had the baby,
okay.
and she was really in a space of like, oh, because she had picked up quite a lot of weight, and she compared to what she was before. Plus, she was working, and she had a baby. You know, and also she used to travel quite a lot for work and then she stopped traveling for work. So there were so many different transitions for her that she was dealing with. And I remember the first time she decided to trust me. And then she was just completely blown away. And she was like, Tracy, I just had no idea. Like, I had no idea that this was possible for me. And, she had been buying a lot of cheap stuff and sometimes not even cheaper stuff. She'd buy online and she said it'd get home and it wouldn't fit her. And it was like a no return situation. So she would get it because it was cheap often,
Yeah.
right? There are online platforms where you can purchase and you can buy a lot of stuff and it seems like a great deal and you get it home and either it's damaged or it's really not a great fit for you. And so she had a whole bunch of clothes that she couldn't wear and she didn't feel fabulous in. And as she started, she said she just had a few things and she was just wearing them in rotation. She said, this was like my rotation. And I was like, that's great. And then she'd send me pictures. She's like, look at what I wore for date night, or look what I wore, this kind of thing. It was just so amazing. And then she lost weight, And for me, that was just like, wow, that really has made such a huge impact on her, and that the clothes were making her feel so good that she wasn't stressed like she was anymore, and so she could make better choices for herself. So, and now she's very clear, like when we're working with, she does buy from my collection. So, but she'll like, okay, can I wear this with that and that with this and this with that? And I love it. And she's got a specific budget in mind, and we'll work out like what is the best for her to get from that budget. How is she going to get the most wear out of that? And how it's going to make her feel at the end of the day.
So what I'm hearing is if you're a woman and you don't have a huge budget, that's okay.
Yes.
That this could still work for you, and not only work for you, actually improve your shopping skills. So with your limited budget, you're using it in a better way, meaning you're getting more bang for your buck. Because
Exactly.
if you know what to buy and how to look for what to buy and the best way to get the best deals, then your limited budget's going to go further. And so
Jack, it actually can save you money. So
yeah,
I actually I did an exercise one time with a client, and we
this is
cleared
such
out her
girl math.
closet.
This is such girl math, right? Have you seen those
I know.
TikTok videos with girl math? Yes, this makeover.
Yeah. So we went through her closet and we made a big pile on the floor. And I mean, it was a huge pile. I mean, let's be honest, how much of your closet are you actually wearing? Do you know what I mean? She had a pile of clothes that she wasn't wearing. And then she calculated. I said, okay, just go through it and just kind of off the top of your head what you think you spent. And I'm sure it was probably a lot less than she did spend, because I think we're a little bit in denial of how much we spend on clothes that we don't wear. And she calculated it and it came up to quite a sum.
Right.
And it actually worked out with the stuff that she was buying, the next stuff that she was buying, it was less than the stuff that she had bought and was not wearing.
Yeah, because sometimes it's hard. I get it. And so if you're okay if you're okay with being, famous and a style icon on Tracy's YouTube channel, flip and get that QR code and flip and sign up for the competition, because why wouldn't you? There is nothing to lose. Now, if you want a private session and you're like, well, I don't know, can I afford this private session? What is the what is the session without the competition? I don't even know what it is.
So it's $400. So it includes 2 1-hour sessions plus a half an hour. And then also there's that there's that communication and the final, like I will send you an email with like, these are the things to remember. You can print out and put inside your closet door, and it's really taking care of what your needs are. You may want to spend some of that time discussing hair and makeup, and that's also okay. I can help you with that too.
What about accessories? Do you handle accessories?
Yes. So if you are, again, it depends on how you want to use your time, and depends on your pain points. So if you are an accessory person, then absolutely you will do that. And then that will be part of your homework.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically you spend $400, but because you learn what to buy and how to buy it, you're going to make less mistakes moving forward. And so yeah, I can totally get why you would end up saving money and being able to buy better items that you're going to get more utility from and more enjoyment from, because you're going to love them, rather than the pile of clothing that I just gave away.
Exactly.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with giving clothes that are brand new away, because that means somebody else gets to use them, and that's good. But darn, I could have used that money for clothing that I do wear instead. So
exactly.
Okay, so is it difficult to apply to the competition? Like if they get on that,
you just go to this link, or you can go to tracygoldfashiontips.com, TRACY Gold is in the color. Fashion, you know how to spell that. And
And
tips, you know how to spell that.
we'll put the link somewhere, won't we?
We'll put the link inside of it's in the description from my YouTube channel and on some of the platforms. So you can go. You can also use this QR code. So just grab another device and just use this QR code, and it will take you directly to the page of on the competition.
But
If
is
you're
it
not,
complicated? I mean, is it a complicated page, or do you ask for a
it's
lot?
not complicated. No,
Okay.
all you need to do, there's literally like step one is click here to email.
Okay.
And you send me your pictures and you tell me why you want to win, and that's the competition entry.
Oh, how are you
That's
choosing the winner?
that's between me and me.
Ah,
So make it compelling. Tell me about why you should win, and make sure to
oh,
send me recent photographs. So it gives you all the instructions there. It's really super easy. If you don't want to do the competition because you don't want to be as a public, you don't want it to be public, then feel free to use that same link, and there will be makeover options. There are different buttons to click to see more options. So you
okay.
can take a look at that and just reach out to me.
Oh, okay. So that QR code will take you everywhere you need to go, whether or not
Yes.
you want to sign up for the competition, which gosh, I hope many women want to sign up for the competition, because then that
Yes.
means that they're ready to show the world their new you, their new them,
Yes.
which is so exciting. And we need that, ladies. We do. We need to see the models out there. And I'm not talking about the models that are, the professional models. I'm talking about you, me, all of us. We need to model
Mm,
for each other how it
mm.
is to live as a midlife and beyond woman, and that we can still look great and feel good in our clothing. So yeah, I'm so thrilled you are doing this.
Thank
Did
you, Jack.
I not ask a question that I should have asked? Is there something
No,
that you're
I think
thinking, wow, I wish she would have asked me this and she didn't?
yeah,
No?
if that is the case, I would just suggest that you put it in the comments, because then that way, I can answer that question.
Okay.
So,
Well,
or
if
feel free
anyone
to reach
here,
out to me.
great. If anyone here has an added question, you've got Tracy's ear. So put the question in the comment. She will get back to you. It's a
Yes.
great opportunity to have access to a fashion stylist. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jack.
Thank you so much. And I
It's
had
been so much fun.
blast. Okay. Awesome.
Take care. Bye bye.